Hey there, everyone, welcome back. So Ricci Tres ends up defending themselves for beating little girls in a skateboard contest. Alright, so let's watch this interview with Ricci and see what they have to say.
I find that funny because that's like what I'm getting beat up about the most is like you're
Beat
beating
up?
little kids and little girls, and I'm just like,
You're not
I
getting beat up?
didn't intend to do that. This was the first competition that I've been to that I actually wanted to win. It makes me really happy to see that there's kids that young that are in competitions and they're shredding and even placing in the high ranks. So that's like incredible. To me, that's not any reason to like not win a competition or something. Like I'm not gonna go there and be like, oh, I'll go easy on them because they're kids. This
I'm not gonna go easy on them because they're kids. That makes sense because skateboarding is all about skill because some kids are absolutely phenomenal. I don't think it's the fact that you're going against kids. It's the fact that you were a man that decided to become a woman and going against kids. And not just any kids, but girls.
skill levels again really determined by your determination, your tenacity to just like put yourself in on top and through these obstacles.
So
It
why
has
didn't
nothing
you
to do
enter
with
the
your age.
man's
Do
category
you
then?
think that you have a physical advantage?
Okay,
Think about it.
I don't,
Think about it.
I don't think so.
You don't think so. Okay, I don't understand how Richie says that they don't think they have a physical advantage when they went through male puberty and just recently started transitioning into a girl and hasn't taken any hormone therapy or any surgeries or anything that I am aware of. And that gives a big advantage. Yeah, some girls can shred, but in this case, it's like a 29-year-old man dominates a bunch of girls in a girls' skateboard contest. It would have been more respectable if Richie decided to enter the men's and actually win the men's category. But Richie knows that they were definitely not going to win, so the best bet is to enter in the girls' category and dominate them.
Mostly because I mean, I don't really understand what that means besides like someone that's stronger. You know, like you would assume that a big man is stronger than a big woman. So,
Not necessarily. Not
but
necessarily.
me, I'm like, look at me. I'm not like buff or anything, you know? I don't
You don't have to be
work
buff
out
to
really. I
skateboard.
just skateboard. I don't think skateboarding has anything to do with physicality, especially when we look at
Yes,
like
it
kids.
does. Skateboarding has a lot to do with physicality or, being physical. You have to be physically fit as well as, mentally there and like skill. Like if you're not physically fit, you're not going to be able to skateboard. It's going to be 100 times harder. So I have no idea what Richie's grasping at right now. You have to be physically fit to skateboard.
These days, literally kids.
There are some people who think that sport should be divided into three categories: biological men, biological women, and everybody else. What do you think of that?
I believe that's what they should do is three different categories to make it fair, or they just don't do any categories and everyone just skates. But then, sorry to say it, but all men are just going to dominate the industry, and that's what we're trying to, change. That's why we have girls category. But some girls, like I said, can shred and will beat a lot of guys depending on their skill level, and that's why usually there's a beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and then a girls category. And the girls can enter girls as well as intermediate or advanced if they want to, and compete with the guys. So let's see what Richie says about that.
I don't think that's the right answer. And
Of
that's
course
pretty
not.
much like as far as that goes. Like,
Of
because
course
there's
not.
so many suggestions, and
Sorry, but of course Richie's gonna say that that's not the answer because they want to be able to compete with girls and win the girl category. You know how bad I want to like put some makeup on, put on a girl's clothing and say I'm going trans and then enter the girls category and then win it, but that's not the answer. That's just totally wrong. I can't believe that.
it kind of goes in hand with all the feedback that I'm receiving from people. Like, a lot of it is negative, and a lot of it is positive. Some of it is kind of just neutral, giving recommendations, and I love that. Honestly, like I think it's all necessary. You know, like people need to get angry, people need to be
Well,
happy,
it's
and then
free
people need to be in the
publicity.
middle, and then everyone comes together, and hopefully we come up with something. But as far as like segregating everything like that, I just personally, I don't think that's the right way. Only because, I mean, I don't know if any of
Because
my
why?
reasoning is valid, but I feel like that would be like calling us different, like a different human race or some kind of like
Not even close. You're not like saying that you're a different human race. That makes no sense. You're just a transgender. And that's the thing is that there's female that becomes men and they're trans, but like there's got to be some give or take. You can't just do that. Like that makes no sense to me. Like I said, that's like any guy like that's a cross-dresser or like decides to be trans and then like entering the girls and dominating. Next there's gonna be a man winning the women's beauty pageant. It's just gonna make no sense. You're just taking away from girls. Like I said, it would be more respectable and if like you became trans and still entered the man's category and ended up dominating that, that'd be impressive.
different type of human when we're not. We're really all the same in some
Well,
way.
we all are
Like
the same. So let's
we
just
all
have no
have so many
categories
things
then.
in
Everyone
common,
just skate with
although we
everyone.
look at each other and we know that we're all very different. So I just don't think that's the right one. Although I heard a really good one. You want to hear it?
Oh
Okay,
God.
so this I'm not saying this is the right one either, but it's like the closest thing to what I've found to like some sense of equality, like something that's like weight orientated, like something based off of like body
Oh
mass
God.
and weight.
Body mass and weight and skateboarding. That's gonna be like almost impossible because to skateboard you have to be fit to a certain extent. It's based on skill level, 100% skill level, and there has to be two categories, a man's and a woman's. And if there's gonna be transgenders like Richie and others entering, then there should be another category for transgenders. It just makes it completely unfair in the sense towards girls or women. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Weight factor, I know from some sports it works, but in this case, it's not going to work for skateboarding.
Or we could even do like I mean, I don't want to say it this way, but because it's just so difficult when we're trying to create like some kind of like a controlled group of some sort, because there has to be some sense of like putting people in a box. You know, if
It's
you're a
not putting
man, you're a
people in a
man, you compete
box.
there. If you're a woman, you're a woman, you compete there. And then it's like at this point, it's like,
Well, then we should have no contests at all, and we should just have open jam format where everyone just skates together and have fun. Those are honestly the best contests to me, is where it's just a jam open format where everyone just skates, has fun, and gets prizes. But these are contests, these are competitions. There's got to be categories. There's a category for a reason, and I like to me it's just the only solution is creating a transgender category, because like there's going to be people that are going to take advantage of the situation and always come on top. Like Richie ended up placing first in the girls division and yeah, ended up winning money and beating the other girls that definitely worked hard for it and deserved it. And I'm not saying Richie didn't work hard and deserved it, but I'd like to see what position and place Richie would place in if they entered man's category. And there's a reason why Richie's not entering the men's category.
well, she says she's a woman, but we don't believe her or something, and like, let's test her. So I took all these, you know, random tests, the testosterone test, the estrogen test, and like had to, I don't know if I used, yeah, I probably got prodded like by a needle to get some samples to get that out. So it was like a little intrusive, you know? So trying to create a category would have to like, we would have to realize that there is gonna have to be some sort of line crossed as far as like the judgment that you're gonna receive. Like you're being judged whether you're gonna fit in that category or not.
Well, this is the thing is Richie actually tried to go into the Olympics and they got tested and it turned out that Richie didn't have enough estrogen in their system because they're not taking it. They don't want to go through hormone replacement therapy. So that's like any guy stating that, put on makeup, girls' clothing, and then just be like, hey, look at me. I'm now a girl. Treat me like a girl. State I'm a girl, and let me compete against other women and win. That to me, that's unfair. I understand what Richie's saying, but that's where like if you're entering a contest, you're entering a contest to be judged on your skateboarding, not you personally. Even though some judges are going to take personal bias in judging towards you anyways, it always happens. It's the human nature. But the thing is that this would fix everything if, like I said, there was a third category. And anyone that argues saying that, oh, a third category, a transgender category, wouldn't resolve or fix any of this, they created handicap category for a reason because they can't have, you know, disabled people going against, regular athletes. So they created a certain category for them, even though they're more than capable, some of them, but they just did it to be fair. And in this case, I think they should do the same with transgenders. They should end up creating another category for them so that way it's fair to everybody. Because, like I said, Richie's not going to enter the men's category because they're definitely not going to place top three. So yeah, that's just my opinion on it. Let's just listen to the rest of this interview.
Uh, but maybe like something based on the weight index or
Weight's not going to
maybe
work.
like experience, like how long have you been skateboarding? Because that's really what counts.
So you don't believe
I gotta stop that again. Based on, I know kids that have skated for years and they can barely even do the basic tricks. And then there's other people that can skate within a year or two and they're absolutely phenomenal. So it's not about how long you've been skating, it's more about your skill. And yeah, it does definitely come down to skill. And like I said, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. But at the same time, you can't have somebody entering into the girls category when like it just doesn't make any sense to me what Richie's trying to get.
transgender women or men pose any form of threat to sports?
No, not at all. A threat? I mean,
No, they're not a threat at all.
we're only beginning.
Except for when you're taking over a
see
different
this
category
now.
and dominating
So
it.
at this point, it's like, it's beautiful. It's part of the human experience. We're all fortunate enough to go through this together. We should kind of just experience it and continue considering all of our feelings and thoughts about it until we can do something that we're all happy with. It doesn't have to be threatening. It could just be fun, exciting, like being lost in a big city.
Leah Thomas, she is a transgender woman and she has received lots of criticism from people who believe that she does have a physical advantage because of her background as a biological male. Do you see skateboarding as slightly different to other more athletic sports?
You can't tell me a biological male doesn't have an advantage
I mean,
when
I
it comes to
can't
certain
really
sports.
speak for her and like what she's going through, but I would say so, like kind of, because you have like an external source. You know, your sport isn't just solely based on your body.
I'd like to rewind that for a second. It, Richie even said that I think so. Like they agree that a biological male that transitions has an advantage. So Richie even just got caught admitting that they have an advantage over girl competitors.
I would say so, like
See, I would say so that males that are born biologically male have an advance over females or girls.
kind of, because you have like an external source. You know, your sport isn't just solely based on your body, as like, I don't know, sprinting or something would be. It's kind of like let's say like a race car driver. You know, like it doesn't really matter what you look like or who,
Well, that's a bit
whatever.
different.
Like you can drive a car better than I do, regardless of our physique and such. So that's kind of where I would pin skateboarding. Is like
That's not true.
it's
Skateboarding is completely different than driving a car. Sure, there's some girls that are absolutely mind-blowing and phenomenal at skating. There's a few, but when it comes to men in skateboarding, they just absolutely are insane, just mind-blowing, like crazy skill levels. So I have no idea what Richie's saying, that skateboarding is similar to race car driving. Some like just doesn't make any sense to me as a skateboarder. I know some girls are absolutely better than men, but if you take the top girls and the top men, the men are like they just dominate. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm hoping one day that girls will eventually get so good that they're going to dominate the skateboard industry and beat guys, because that'd be amazing. But it's just right now, as of right now, it's not happening. It's not happening. Only a select few.
That, yeah. I'll keep competing because there are opportunities that are like
Of
almost like an
course,
instant growth. It's like picking up a little star or something.
picking up a little star, $500
But I'm
cash plus
just
sponsorships and publicity.
I'm just skateboarding to be happy, honestly.
Well, then
So
why even compete?
I just want to keep being happy.
Okay, I agree. It's all about having fun, being happy, and that's what skateboarding is about. But at that point, why even compete? And if you're going to compete, why compete against other girls and women? That just makes no sense to me. Like I said, I would respect Richie with a lot more, or anybody, if they did transition from a man to a girl and still entered the men's category and won. That'd be way more phenomenal than what's going on right now. I just can't believe that Richie just doesn't get it. But the thing is that Richie does get it, that in order for them to place in the top three, to get a name for themselves in the industry of skateboarding, to become somebody, get the publicity, go places, this was their only like way of option. I don't know if Richie is 100% like serious about transitioning because they don't want to take hormone therapy or anything else, but it's just like any guy that's suffering in skating and can't place in a men's division just goes, you know what? I'm gonna grow my hair out, I'm gonna put some makeup on, say I'm transgender, enter the girls category, and try to, win top three every time. And like sometimes it's not going to work because, like I said, some girls are absolutely phenomenal, but in other cases, in some contests, the man that becomes a transgender female skateboarder is always going to dominate. You can either agree or disagree, but that's just my thoughts and opinions on it, and that's just the way it is. So I guess maybe I should become transgender, and then I can start winning first place at all the events. And this is the thing, is I go to skateboard events. I skateboard, all right, if you could tell by some of my videos on my channel. And like sometimes at these events, my skill level isn't at an advanced skater, okay? But I still enter advanced because I don't want to compete as well as take away from little kids that are in beginner or intermediate. So if like I enter intermediate and I see a bunch of kids, I feel bad as a person, taking away from them. So I usually put myself in advance knowing that I'm not going to win. And, I just do it for fun. It's about just having fun, not like trying to place the top three, even though, doing that, you win prizes and it's a great opportunity and, you can go places with that. But that'd be like a super advanced skater entering beginner because they know they can just dominate the beginner category and win first time place every time. It's totally unfair and uncalled for. But anyways, those are just my thoughts and opinions. You can either agree or disagree. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like this video, share with your friends and family so they can check it out, and click that subscribe button for more. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe. God bless you all. Take care and peace out.